The challenges facing our teens today mean that more than ever, we need to be there to support them and encourage them. The Dr.Stem Show is here to provide discussions about topics that will help promote healthy relationships, self-image, and success for teens, parents, and the community. Our young people can achieve more in life than they ever dreamed possible. The Dr.Stem Show, hosted by Dr. Stem Malatini, will foster these discussions and encourage your participation.
Welcome to the Dr. Stem Show, a show that is meant to empower, educate, inspire, and motivate not only teenagers, parents, but the community as well, which is all of you that are watching us today. You know, no wonder why they talk about if you inspire and motivate women and girls, you not only enrich their lives, but you've enriched the lives of everyone else around them. Why is it that we say that? We say that because women are very powerful. It's very important that we educate, inspire, and motivate our young girls so that they can be the greatest tomorrow's leaders that we've ever had. Today, we are going to be talking about mentoring. And we have a special guest with us today, Keisha. Welcome, Keisha.
Thank you, Dr. Stem. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Keisha is actually one of our own. She lives right here in the North Shore community, and she has a unique program not only for mentoring but modeling that she will be talking to us today, which is actually an inspiration to me when I invited her to come to this show. So before I let her tell you about this unique program that we have, I'm going to ask Keisha to tell us a little bit about the unique background that you come from.
Wow, thank you. Originally, I'm from the Bahamas, and my parents are Jamaican, but I was born in the Bahamas. And I went to high school there, did a lot of pageant and modeling in the Bahamas. And after graduated from high school, I wanted to pursue modeling as a profession.
Yes.
And I realized that being in the Bahamas was not going to work for me. And in order for me to get to where I wanted to be, I would have to make a move. And I decided to move to Florida. Yes, I moved to Florida. I was, I think it's 16 and a half, 17 years old, all on my own. All I knew was my best friend living in Florida. I called her up. I'm like, girl, you have to get me a place or something. She says to me, it's not that easy here. And I said, that's okay. Things are going to work out. And I packed every single thing that I owned, and I packed up and moved. And no one knew that I was moving until I was here.
16 and a half.
Yes.
I want everyone to know and understand that she said 16 and a half, because we are talking today about mentoring, self-esteem, as you will talk to us about that. But I want everybody to know how important it is to know that you have it within you to start a journey of life like we will hear from Keisha today. So you were in Florida. How did you end up in Boston?
Well, it's funny. I have an aunt that lives in Boston. Yeah. And she says, I think you should come and see if you like the cold or, you know, and see how you like it. And I says, okay, why not? And as I was about to go to Boston, I wanted to look for a photographer or a modeling agency. And I came across a photographer. I sent him an email. And I asked him, do you think, you know, model material? And he says, of course. So we made an appointment when I came to Boston that we meet. And I remember talking to him, and he made a phone call to one of his friends. And that was the pinnacle point of my career for 8 fabulous years.
So you were a model?
Yes.
For 8 years?
For 8 years.
Wow. Now, I know you have started this program that is, as I said at the beginning, unique program. And I am sure that there's nobody who's more qualified to do that, you know, more than you because of the background in the start that you started. Tell us a little bit about the Chic modeling and mentoring program that you have.
Well, the Chic mentoring started in 2012, where it's all, I had another company that's called the Chic Modeling Charm School, helping kids with their charm, their etiquette, and also teaching them about the ins and outs of the modeling world, because it's not that easy. And as I was doing that, I realized I was changing lives. And the parents would say, you know, my kid is not listening to me, or I talk to the child and see what's going on. And next thing you know, parents are like, what did you do to my child? Oh, we are getting along perfectly. Things are going great. And I realized I had some sort of gift that I needed to use. And I came up with Le Chic Mentoring Plus, helping at-risk girls. Because I find that not a lot of people pay attention to kids who are at risk. And they all have potential, they all have dreams, and all they need is someone to believe and care about them.
You know, that word at risk is used a lot of times. When you say at risk youth, at risk children, in your own terms, what does that mean?
For me, at risk means kids who are dropping out of school, kids who are having babies, doing drugs. It doesn't mean that, you know, their environment is what makes them at risk. It means that you can be a rich person, a rich kid, and the kid could also be at risk. So it doesn't mean it's on your, like, status of what you have as financial needs or anything of that sort. That's how I see it as.
Thank you. I wanted to make sure that we clarify what that is, because a lot of people, when they hear at risk, they are thinking you are a person that is going to be doing drugs, you're going to be drinking, you're going to be arrested, or you're not doing well,
right,
or you are in a poor neighborhood. But what it is you are a woman, for one, because this is a program for girls.
Absolutely.
And you are a person that is in an environment like a school environment where everything and anything can happen, which means you can be bullied. You can miss school and fail classes. You can break up with a boyfriend and get hurt. You can not have the courage to want to play sports and do as well as other people, and then you feel down.
Right.
So that's at risk, because then you become sad. And for us, you know, people in the mental health, then you become depressed. And those are the people that anybody can qualify for your program. Am I correct by
You're
describing?
absolutely correct, yes.
So the focus of your programs, what are the focus of your programs that you do?
The focus of Le Chic mentoring is academic. The first thing is academic work, making sure that the kids complete their homework. It's done on time. They're getting good grades.
Yes.
And if they're not getting good grades, how can I help them to improve upon that grade? So I will have a tutor to help the girls, you know, so that they can get better grades and also eventually graduate from high school and go on to a great college, you know, and eventually not just get a job, but get a career that they love.
So are your services similar to Big Sister, Big Brother? Would that be
You know,
accurate?
how I say, I find mine to be unique, just because I'm not quite sure what the Big Brother, Big Sister concept is.
Okay.
But with Le Chic, I tend more to, we focus more on the academics, also on the social skills, because there's so many kids who are lacking social skills. They don't know how to operate in the real world. So by helping them, teaching them, you know, all the first impression, how you look someone in the eye, how you speak to someone, how you're going to interview, how you dress. All of that is important, and you may just be learning it now, but when it comes to your whole entire life, it's going to be a part of you forever, you know?
So that gets us into self-esteem, because I know one of the things that you focus on is self-esteem. Why is self-esteem important?
Ooh. Wow, it is so important in our society today. It's the way we value and carry ourselves. And there's so many youth, teenagers, boys and girls who are, especially girls, who are lacking that self-esteem, who don't feel pretty enough, who don't you know, they feel bullied, they're shy, or, you know, they just don't believe in this, like they can't do something, I can't do this, you know, all the negative words, and just helping them to get away from all that negativity and turn on the positivity. But in order for them to do that is to have, I would say, as myself, helping them to get to that point in their life. Because it's not something that you're born with, you know, it's something that you're able to learn as you grow. And if you don't have it, then you have to practice it. And as you get older, it gets harder. So the younger you are, the better it is to learn.
I like that. The fact that you say if you don't have it, you have to learn it. That's really encouraging, because a lot of people think, well, I was born shy, so maybe I'll never have it within me to be assertive enough, to speak for myself, to do what I want in life. It reminds me, I have worked a lot of years with adolescent girls. And when I think of self-esteem, I think of assertiveness. And what does that mean? I always tell them that when you have the right self-esteem for yourself, you'll be able to know when a guy comes to you and says, I don't want to talk to you anymore, I want to date somebody else. And know that, you know what? I'm good enough, I'm not going to share this guy with anybody else. So you don't show out and go and break his windows and do, you know, all the crazy stuff that we did when we were young. Because now you know better to say, no, I'm good enough. So if you can't say that see that I'm good enough, then I don't need you around me. And that always resonates with the young girls, because it's always about boys. The boys don't make us feel good sometimes, right?
Oh, no, not at all. I remember when I was a kid, you know, I hear stories. I remember being a young teenager, my mind was not on boys. My mind was on getting good grades in school. And my parents were very, very strict, so even an A was not good enough for them. So, you know. So of course it is, and as you develop the self-esteem, then the confidence comes, and you know, I'm good enough and I can do whatever I want in life, you know, because they both go hand in hand.
Hand in hand, yes, yes. And one of the things that is so important is to have the right body image. So how serious is the obesity in America, the problem of obesity in America?
Wow. I'm also a personal trainer, and being a personal trainer, it's overwhelming. It's like an epidemic. Like 1 out of 5 kids are obese in America. And a lot of the kids are more likely from low-income families, you know, because they're not able to afford, you know, the right proper food, or no one educating them about what to eat, so they eat all, you know, the fast food and things like that. But it's really becoming a problem, because now kids are developing diabetes, you know, all these different health problems. And now it's up to the parents to try to help to educate themselves, to help to educate their kids, because the bully also come into the picture as well, because when they're overweight, they don't feel good about themselves, you know, they get bullied in school, they get depressed, you know, they withdraw, they don't do good in school. So you have all those different effects of what happens when it occurs.
Yeah, and one of the things that I have noticed as well, those teenagers or those people in general that are obese, they have a hard time getting up in the morning, having the right energy to do what they want to do. So I think it's unique that you do address that in your program, because that would help those teenagers that are heavyweight, might we say, and having problems breathing, having problems being energetic and doing the things that they need to do.
Oh, absolutely, because when you get, and the thing is motivation. And once you get the kid to the point and get them to find something that they love and keep it moving, keep them moving, is so, so important. Because maybe they say, well, I don't like baseball or I don't like soccer. but get them to do Zumba or just keep them moving or dance or something. And, you know, you will see, like, or boxing, and you will see, because when they start seeing the change in themselves, then they start feeling good. And then everything come into play. They're getting good grades. You know, they're not depressed anymore. They're not tired. You know, so all of that is so, so important.
Yeah. I like the fact as well that you not only address just the mentoring of being guide to the girls, but you also have this holistic program where you're talking about eating right, you know, feeling right and exercising right so that the body looks good. And I know for all of you that are looking at her are thinking, oh, yeah, I want her to be my personal trainer, because you know what? There's nothing as good as having a mentor who walks the walk and talks the talk.
Oh, thank
so
you.
congratulations for doing that for yourself.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The challenges facing our teens today mean that more than ever, we need to be there to support them and encourage them. The DrStem Show is here to provide discussions about topics that will help promote healthy relationships, self-image, and success for teens, parents, and the community. Our young people can achieve more in life than they ever dreamed possible. The DrStem Show, hosted by Dr. Stem Malatini, will foster these discussions and encourage your participation.
Why are social skills important in children? Because I think all this goes with building the social skills as well. What are social skills to start?
Social skills are the way you act when you're in public or when you're around people. Not being able to speak clearly. You know, people understand, looking people in the eye, giving a firm handshake, and you know, being able to interact with other people, have a conversation, and not feel, oh, well, I have to start the conversation. You know, you just go ahead and do it. And it is so important because they need that, because when they, after high school and they go for a job, they're going to have to learn how to express themselves. And if you cannot express yourself, then I find that people will give you whatever you deserve. You know, so it's up to you to speak up and says, okay, this is where I am and this is what I want, and, you know, and be assertive about what you want and know what you want, because when you don't know what you want, you get anything.
You're right, you're right. And I think, you know, in that social skills and assertiveness, communication is big, which is what you're saying, that you know, communication is really big. Because in whatever job that you're going to be going into, or you know, classes, the degree that you're going to take, it is a big deal to be able to communicate that, who you are. You market yourself first, is what I always tell people, that when you're at a job, the first business that you're doing is marketing yourself. Who are you? Are you able to sell me something, but then I have to buy into you first?
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you're not able to do that, then you're doomed.
You're right. You're right. Which gets us into the first impression. Because then I know that's one of the things that I spoke to you about when we were preparing for this interview, and you said one of the things that I'm really passionate about is teaching these teenagers about the first impression.
Oh, yes, yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Wow. I always think that first impression is so important. And for me as a woman, and when I walk into a room, it's always good to see people who wanted to know who you are. You know, not in a negative sense, but you have some sort of aura about yourself. And with my girls, when I teach them, I always say there are 6 ways, there are 6 S's when it comes to first impression. And the first one is you stand, you know, you smile, you give a firm handshake.
You stand,
yeah, so
you smile.
You give a first, yes.
Oh,
and to say their names, because when you say someone's name, like you said, well, a pleasure to meet you, Keisha. It's a pleasure to meet you, DrStem. It shows that it's a gift. It shows that you remember that person, and it's important because you don't know what kind of day they're having, you know? So it's so, so important. It is absolutely, absolutely.
I'll remember that, because that's going to help me, because I'm one of those that always has a terrible memory when it comes to remembering names, but I'm sure with what you had today, if you say then as soon as you meet them,
Yes.
it's going to stick in your mind and it'll be easier to remember is what I'm hearing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Excellent, excellent. Now, with the programs that you do at La Chic, do you also do tours and go to places with the girls, or is it in one place that you do everything that you do?
Oh no. One of the things we do site-based mentoring. So we have the Le Chic after-school program, and the Boys and Girls Club of Lynn and Chelsea we've been working diligently with. So we have a lot of kids out of those two places, and we make sure we get those kids involved in other things, such as we take them to the Lincoln Laboratory to, learn about the spaces and the planets and all that stuff, and they get to go to the museums, and we have guest speakers come in and speak with them, because it's important for kids to see people who are professionals. Yeah. Because when they see that, this is, oh, maybe I want to be like them. But if they don't see, then they don't know. So you want to give them that wider range of what they need to do.
So if somebody wanted to be a part of your program, how can they get involved?
Well, there's my website. It is www.lachic mentoring+, which is plus.org, and there's my website. Is LA. Did I just say?
You're like me. You forget the website name as well. But what we'll do is we will have the website and your contact information on the screen so that you all have that information ready for you. But I know as well that you're also looking for more mentors, because what happens is we have more girls, wanting to be part of this program because it is so good. So are you also looking for more mentors?
Oh, yes. We're always open for mentors, tutors, because we want to make sure that these, that my girls, I call them, have the best mentor, the best help. And where I could come in is also teach those mentors how to become better mentors to the mentees, And one of the things I do in my classes with the I use my, my older girls as peer mentors to the smaller kids. So they come up with a goal, and the older kids will help the mentee with it.
Excellent. So I know of a lot of girls out there that are doing well. If you're one of those girls that has got it, and I always say you got it, and you're doing well in school, you're doing well at work, you're a role model, not only in your classrooms, but in your family, and you'd like to take somebody else under your wing, guide them, and let them know what has made you go through and be successful in what you're doing right now. This is a great opportunity for you to make a difference in the community, to join the La Chic mentoring program. So I will have that phone number ready for all of you, as well as the website that you can join. Just to recap, one of the things that I would like for you to know is who can be involved in La Chic mentoring or in the mentoring programs. As far as being mentored, all people, teenagers are eligible, because it's for girls. For now, it's for girls, right?
Yes.
Okay, for now, it's for girls. And the risk factors that we talked about at the beginning of the show, if you are a girl that is at risk for having children, pregnancy is alive. People are getting pregnant, and that's one of the risks that we have. If you're surrounded by peers that are smoking, that are drinking, that are doing something that you look at and you say, you know what, I don't want to be a part of this, then you're eligible to have somebody that can always take you under their wings and boost you up and give you back that energy to say, continue to say no, continue to stay on this straight line. If you're one of those teenagers that is sometimes sad and just, not having too many friends because people at school, they don't want to talk to you, great opportunity, because then you'll have somebody that you can talk to. But guess what? They'll make you a better person, that when you go back into your school, everybody's going to be envious of you, because not only will you look this chic, you will be assertive, you will have high self-esteem, you do well for yourself. So I want all of you to be able to join in Chic Mentoring and Modeling School. Miss Keisha, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Join us again next week for another segment that will empower you, motivate, and inspire you during the Dr. Stem Show.